Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the garage for another edition of Andy the Gabby Cabby, live and alive. Hope everyone is okay this evening and doing well, and you've had a great weekend. Me, it's not been a great one, as you can tell by my bedraggled look, the old 5 o'clock shadow that's been about 2 days now, and everything else. I've had enough. I'm glad it's the end of 1 week. The problem is, it will be the beginning of another very soon. Tonight, there's nothing to talk about, really. It's more for you, for you to air your views, chew the cud, chew the grass, so to speak, and let's have a conversation and read the room, unlike a lot of people in Westminster. What do you want to talk about? Before I do, I was sent a very funny video clip which I want to show everybody. It's actually directly on my phone, and it's had me laughing for ages. Let me just find it. This is Ben Habib at the march in London yesterday. Yes, there you go. That video is doing the rounds, shall we say. It's really quite something. And as Bloodnose pointed out, I think most of the country has really confirmed that we all really think he is one. I could think of worse, but it's not for public consumption. But no, that did make me giggle. Yeah, yesterday, I don't know how many in the chat right now went to London. It was absolutely crazy, wasn't it? The number of people over the bridges, in the streets and everything else. And the mainstream media, as usual, turn around and say, oh, not that many people went, 100,000 or whatever. But they always try and downplay it, don't they? But if there's any sign of resistance or any sign of unity of any kind, they always try and downplay it. And I think someone had the foresight to hire a helicopter to fly over the place and have a look at the numbers. And unbelievable. What happened to me, my plan was go to Southampton in the morning. And my plan was to straight up the M3 into London, find somewhere to park up, tube it if I had to, and go and have a look around. But I ended up getting stuck in all sorts of crap. And I'll show you that. I have to dig these things out on my phone because they're like an afterthought, so to speak. Kind of incident, and I've been sat here for probably 20 to 30 minutes now, not moving. There is a junction right here where people are escaping, and I've actually seen people reversing back up the road to get off there, but as you can see, I ain't getting over. There's no escape at the moment. So there you go. Well, that's what happened to me. That slip road right to the side of the video was actually obstructed for ages. And eventually what happened, the gap was big enough for me to be able to get my minibus through. And I was away, and I managed to get through to Guildford and then up. Don't forget to hit the like button, folks. Yes, please. Thank you very much, Jilly, for that. Appreciate it very much. Yeah, I managed to get through to Guildford, up the A3, back to the M25 area, and there was still a load of nonsense around there. And I was due back up to Gatwick later that night. I was due to be up there for about 11 o'clock, and I just weighed it all up, and I thought, you know what, this isn't my day. You know, I just went home. I would have loved to have been there, but it was great seeing all of the reaction and all the videos and everything that everyone went up to. And I understand, I spoke to Paz on and off during the day, and it was absolutely marvelous and very, very tightly packed as well. That was something. So, you know, I will be at the next one. The problem is with my airport business, as I tried to explain in an earlier video, September and October are probably the busiest months of the year. For some reason, everyone goes on holiday when the kids are, gone back to school. That's what seems to happen, and it just goes mad. So I have to do a lot more. And then November, December, it goes a little bit quieter, and that's when things loosen up a bit. Hi, Mum. Hope you are okay. And for a change, the chat ain't that busy, so I can see your comment, which is all good. Yeah, somebody mentioned something about Hyde Park. Something was happening in Hyde Park to do with Tommy at some other point. I'm not sure what that was about, or if something else has been announced already. If someone can let me know, that would be wonderful. I would appreciate that very much. Who's this? RH Audits. Hello, RH Audits. Rabbi Malakaya Baruch Kahaha Shibishamada. I have no idea what you just said. Could do with a translation, most definitely. Got a load of people saying hello to my mum, which is all good. Thanks to the St. George's flag, Gene Whitehead, Avon representative. Absolutely, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. We've got to be patriotic about this. There's too many and a lot could not hear what Tommy was saying. Yeah, Jilly, one thing that I understood was that the bridges, I think it was Westminster Bridge at least, was shut off to a lot of the patrons because the place was stuffed with so many people. You just couldn't get in. Couldn't get in the place. It got to that point. John Everett is a new YouTube channel member. I appreciate that very much. £1 a month to go in the Cherry Pepsi Fund. Thank you very much indeed. I appreciate that. I'm trying to stick some extra bits and bobs in there every now and again. I've got to try and do some more for the members. Hi, Andy. Hope you and your family are well. Yes, we are. Thank you very much. Did you see the video on Downward Now Outspoken, the guy that ambushed Talk TV host Ian Collins saying, why have Talk TV banned Ben Habib going on to talk? No, I did not actually. That's a very interesting point. Ideal opportunity, wasn't it? I wonder what the reaction was. Did they get an answer? Yeah, Khan closed off the squares and numpty. Absolutely. I mean, it was overrun, wasn't it? Let's be honest. It was overrun with loads of people. I mean, what's the population of London? Is it 6 million? So something like that, or is it more? I never get the population of London. Can somebody check that out for me? Hope you get better soon, Jean. Sure signs are on the change. If you've got a cold, mother, let me know, and I'll be sure to keep away like you keep away from me when I've got one. What's this? Andy, no, they didn't. And, I'm chasing the bloody comments here. The population of London in 2025 is estimated to be 9.84 million people. Wow. Absolutely wow. Depends if you mean Greater London or not. Well, yeah, I mean, you've got the square mile, haven't you? The City of London, and then you've got Greater London. I suppose you can think of the whole lot, or, Greater London on its own. Hi, all UK patriots, love and peace, brothers and sisters. Wonderful turnout at the rally. GB. Carol, absolutely great. I saw some of the speeches that were played out. There's a channel, British Stand. I don't know if anybody follows it. I caught up with everything on there. Tommy's speech, Ben's speech, Katie Hopkins, Ant Middleton, all of them. If you vote Reform, you won't get Nigel. Yeah, I've got my own thoughts on that. I really have to be honest with you. The way that's going. Yeah, thanks, Bloodnose, for doing that. That's the YouTube channel, British Stand. You can see all of the speeches on there. What I'll do quickly for everybody is pull that up so you can see them. I think I've got some sound issues when I try and play the sound off of different tabs. So I'm not specifically going to try that, but I'll just run through what's going on here. Give a fellow YouTuber a shout out. Where are we? British screen share. Yeah, there we go. I couldn't share screens for ages. I think there's some kind of issue on here that kind of fixed itself. There you go. You've got Elon Musk was there. Have you seen all the politicians going absolutely nuts over him today, what he was saying? I think they're just shit scared because they know that we've had a gutful. Eva Vlaardinabrook, if I said her name correctly. I know she is, but I always have trouble pronouncing her. Tommy Robinson's full speech and Katie Hopkins as well. That was a good short one. Short and to the point. Absolutely wonderful. Loads of other videos there. And, of course, you've got Ant Middleton. I mean, look at some of these views. 300,000, 200,000, 166,000. 300,000 nearly, 220,000. So people want to hear this stuff. You know, there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 1 million views across that little handful of videos. Absolutely wonderful. Sam Core. Oh, that's great. Getting some Facebook audience tonight. That's wonderful. I watched it all. Yeah, it's brilliant. That's the power of the whole World Wide Web, isn't it? If you didn't get there, you can catch it up. I mean, I knew Paz was going to be there, so I literally just tuned into him as soon as I got home. You had Jeff Taylor as well. I want to know what internet tool he's got to nick everybody's bandwidth, as we always joke about him, but Jeff's cool. The whole thing was set up into bottleneck. People had to move past police lines from getting crushed, but overall they weren't bad, really. Absolutely. I'll tell you what, what's this called? Police service, not force. Definitely. I'll tell you what, you had the usual thing about any trouble there was, they were trying to pin it on, you know, the United Kingdom rally and not everything else that was going on. I just want to pull something up that Howard Cox showed, and I think it's very important to relay. Yeah, let's just pull up Howard's Twitter profile, and I will share that. There we go. Okay, so, I mean, Howard's been quite verbal today about, you know, defending people that are being called far right and all the rest of it, and really giving it some. But the one I want to point attention to is, my God, he has been busy. It's a lot further down than I thought it was. I included it in a video of mine earlier, but it's definitely worth addressing. There he is talking there. Ah, here we go. This is the one. This is a map taken from the police website, and it shows where disorder happened. Now, what they had the good sense to do was you had the United Kingdom march, you had the Stand Up to Racism march, who should fuck right off, in my opinion, but there we go. Now, had a sterile area in between, basically separating everybody. And you can see points of disorder were towards their area. You had one around the sterile area. I think you're always going to get people in there trying to have a go at each other. And the rest of it was at the other end. Nothing whatsoever disturbance-wise down the United Kingdom end of things. Happens every time. But then what you get a situation where you get any trouble whatsoever, and those in the mainstream media or otherwise try and pin it on everybody else. You know, and try and make everybody look bad. They can't accept the fact that their way of doing things, their way of explaining things could well be a problem. Sheila, I believe they were led there. Yeah, that we've seen this, haven't we? We've seen this already. Just right. Everyone who went yesterday needs to ensure they tell friends and family what a great atmosphere we had. Awaken those that are still asleep. The other thing you get as well is you get, I suppose, what you could call it, misinformation thrown out to try and put people off going. That's something that happens quite regularly. Also, it's the same old stuff every time. It was a setup. The cops wanted trouble so they could arrest patriots. Yeah, I had a conversation with somebody the other day about this, and this is men, really. If you're in the street or you're just minding your own business and anybody comes up to you and shoves you or bumps into you aggressively, a lot of men will start, what are you doing? And if they don't get the reaction that they want, the police, I mean, they will start nudging and shoving and barging and everything else. And eventually, of course, someone will react and they'll just have a pop. And then, of course, you get arrests. It gets out of hand. They get it every time. That's my handle. I'm Tommy, Rabbi Malakakaya. Okay. I'm not sure about that one, but there we go. Yeah. Paul James, bashing the event is a great distraction regarding Starmer's demise and irrelevance. Oh, God, don't. I mean, did you see what he put? I'll have to bring this up. Back to Twitter again. Kia. Where is he? There he is. There's even a bloody parody account of him now. Here we go. Right. Let's put this back on the screen. Share screen. I'm getting a signal indicator pop up a couple of times while I'm talking. I was just talking to Bloodnose in the background, and I think we definitely need to get some kind of wire out here, even if it's Starlink or something like that. Yeah, it's this tweet here. It's a load of old bollocks, which is usually what we expect from him. People have a right to peaceful protest. It's at the core to our country's values. It's at the core of English values. We have the right to peaceful assembly, but we won't go there. But we will not stand for assaults on police officers doing their job, or for people feeling intimidated on our streets because of their background or the colour of their skin. Britain is a nation proudly built on tolerance, diversity and respect. Our flag represents our diverse country, and we will never surrender it to those that use it as a symbol of violence, fear and division. That's what he's basically aimed at everybody that was there yesterday, turning out in peaceful assembly, basically saying, we've had enough of you, sunshine. That's what he's saying. That's the attitude he's taking. And I've seen pictures of grandmothers, grandfathers, sons, daughters, even pictures of firemen and, friendly people all turning out and saying, we've had enough of it. And every single time we're labelled far right, thug, and all the rest of it, it's nah. He's heading out of office very rapidly. RH audits, only criticism. The music was a mega cringe. They could have had more political speeches and people from the audience giving their points of view. The lass in the Union Jack dress stole the show. Oh, blimey, I bet she did. I blocked Starmer on X a long time ago. UNC says, you know what? I would like to block Starmer on X. There's a few I'd like to block on X, but unfortunately, by nature of what I do, it's a case of I have to read them. I have to see what they're doing. But unfortunately, some of them end up blocking you because they don't like your reaction or truth telling. How about you put on an event and get 1 million people there, Robert says. I'm not sure who that's aimed at, Robert. That would certainly be beyond my capabilities. I mentioned in your previous video that SUTR is plastered on every anti-protest placard. Standard, right? STUR is partly funded by TUC and unions, so the unions are actively discouraging peaceful protest. There you go. John says it straight away. They're all funded and shipped in. Andy, the funny thing is, Talk TV have had on with Kevin O'Sullivan. You know, I was invited on Talk TV. I'd have to look to dig the email out, but I was invited on. One of their producers messaged me, and I was thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it, and I thought too much, and too much time went past. So the invite's probably expired now. It may be something I do in the future if it comes back to me again. Oh, Katie Hopkins, I've got to show you this. This is absolutely brilliant. That just sprung to mind. Where is she? Here she is. Yeah, this is wonderful. Katie Hopkins received an invite to go on the Nick Ferrari show. Bear in mind, Katie used to have her own show on LBC. Here's the first bit. Hope you're well. Blah, blah, blah here from Nick Ferrari's show at LBC. I was wondering if Katie would be available tomorrow morning to join Nick to discuss the United Kingdom rally. I saw that she spoke passionately at the event and hope she could explain to Nick why she attended the protest. I think it's bloody obvious. This would be for 7 a.m. down the line, one-on-one with Nick. Please let me know. Thank you. Now, the best bit of this was Katie's reply. And that's this. Dear Sophie, thank you for your kind offer. I would be very much happy to come and guest host my old show, LBC. That's the bit that made me laugh. And we can have a Unite the Kingdom call-in. LBC really should try to be part of our conversation. After all, there is a lot of us. I'm sure I can help with your numbers. Do suggest this upwards. All best, Katie Hopkins. There's probably now fuck off right underneath or something like that. But I thought that was an absolutely wonderful comeback. Well deserved. Love it. Absolutely. Let's get this right. Farage is years ahead of the game and knows how to play it. Most don't. One day you'll say, oh, yeah, I see. Green Street player. You're a reform supporter, are you then? I take it you are, judging by that comment. I'm trying not to get too focused on politics tonight because it's just a chat, really. Rabbi Malakar, too many of these GB flags. It should be the English, Scottish, Welsh, and Irish flags. Absolutely. I want to read something to you. I just said I'm not going to talk about politics, but I think this is important. If I go to my own profile, I'll bring this up. You can actually see my live playing out on X. And hello to everybody that's just joined. I'm seeing a few hellos. If you haven't done so already, please give it the thumbs up. We got 440 in the chat. Good to see everybody. And please, yes, join in the conversation. Give me your thoughts in the chat. Blood Nose sitting in the background will flag them up for me and we'll go through them. So yeah, everybody that cites the Acts of Union as to why they are British need to consider two things. All the Acts of Union did was to unite England and Scotland, then later Northern Ireland, because there was two Acts of Union. There was the ones in the early 1700s, and then there was a later one in 1800, I think, which bolted Northern Ireland onto the rest of it, which turned it into the United Kingdom. And that's what made the UK. Even at that point, so think 92, good couple of hundred years ago. Hello, we just had a funny there. Yeah, good couple of hundred years ago. I'm just going to take. Yeah, think I'm having a collie wobbles. Can I have a sound check? Can anybody still hear me okay? Yeah, I'm getting a thumbs up from Bloodnose, so that's all right. I think my graphics card has just uh, flung a silly. Yeah. So even at this point, we still had no British nationality. Although we live in the British Isles, we were still English, Scottish, etc. It was the British Nationality Act of 1948, 1981 that forced this upon us. If you read the Act, it does untold damage to our countries and should be scrapped. We would still be a union if that's what people are worried about, and the legislation's there for people to read. Another good read is the below link, where it goes into detail about the Act, what it's done, and the fact it's tried and quickly scrubbed before. Not a popular thing to discuss because of the misconceptions of many, but you need to understand what's going on. To be clear, I live in the British Isles, but I am English. That's it in a nutshell. Now, where are we? Can anybody see me? Because I can't see me. Right, Blood's getting the thumbs down. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to jump out and I'm going to come back in again because it looks like I've disappeared. So you can hear me, but you can't see me. Yeah, what happened? My screen went blank and then everything just disappeared. Right, bear with me. I shall reload. That's better. I'm back. I don't know what happened there. It's the first time it's done that for a while, but with my laptop, I think the graphics card in it kind of gets overwhelmed and dumps me out sometimes. I'm afraid of no ghost. Groucho says the hamsters in his pooter need to pedal faster. You know, Julie, I've actually got a hamster. We bought her, not this July, last July. And it was for my son, Jack. And what we didn't realize was hamsters are nocturnal. And at the moment, she doesn't come out till probably midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. And I'm literally the only bloody human contact she gets. So even though she's my son's pet, I'm the one that ends up doing the looking after. Can you believe it? What is its name? The hamster, Daisy. It's a female hamster. I'll tell you what, they're ever so cheap. I think Daisy cost £10, and it's all the other bits and pieces that you have to get to go with them that adds it up. But they're quite easy to look after. What's this? Oh, you're back on again. Absolutely. Oh, nice, Daisy. Yeah, I joined a group online that talks about hamsters, owners and everything. So it's quite good. Stephen Jackson, the police are balls deep in this. Antifa turned up at a migrant hotel protest in Fallowfield today. Absolutely. And we've got footage, haven't we, all over the country of them being escorted to places just to wind things up. And they deny it when they're caught out. That's the thing. It really is quite disgusting. Thought Ben Habib was brilliant. Any opinion on Advance UK? Yeah, Yvonne, I've joined Advance UK, and I've even been invited to join the college, which I said, okay, and I've applied. Whether I get on the college or not is neither here nor there, because there's probably more intelligent people out there than me, and I think there's interviews and all checks and all sorts of things. But I'll tell you the basic problem. I believe that a platform is needed to shift this useless lot we got in Westminster. In fact, to really restructure what's going on in Westminster. That ain't Farage. And it certainly isn't the idiots we've got in there at the moment. I believe that something else external should do that job. Reform has the money, it has the backing, and it has the wherewithal to at least attempt to do that. That is the Reform platform. I support a platform which will effectively have a chance of changing everything. I joined Restore Britain as well for that purpose. But the problem is with these individual parties, they need to be talking and listening to the right people and need to be showing. It's like the English thing. They need to be showing that, you know, they're listening to and getting the right balance of expertise from everybody in the place. Now, right at my core, right at my heart, I'm English. I can't believe what is happening to England. I can't believe what's happening to Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. It's a complete and utter disaster in the making. We have the regionalisation of England going on, and what they will effectively do is put a layer of administrative law over the whole thing. Scotland, it's already happened. Wales and England share the same legal system, common law, and that will get overlaid by an administrative system. And then once that happens, you can then force a separate constitution on the people, and you can completely take over. That's what's being worked towards. And all the while you obsess about this idea about Parliament, United Kingdom, and all the rest of it, whether it's intentionally or unintentionally or what, you're inadvertently aiding in the destruction of your own countries. That's why I talk about the British Nationality Act so much, because there's stuff in there that is aiding and abetting the destruction of our countries. Some very pointed lines in there that either need to be removed themselves, voided, or the whole bloody thing has to go. You know, it's such a big multifaceted beast. It's you know, it's more complicated than they're letting you believe. This is going to sound bad, but a lot of the general public are naive to this, because at the end of it, I was 5 years ago, but at the end of the day, what happens? We get our ass out of bed in the morning. If we've got kids, we deal with the kids, pack them off to school, we go to work. If we're retired, we get up maybe slightly later, go down the shop and buy the paper, come back, decide what we're going to do for the day. All sorts of manners of life. And then every 4 or 5 years, we have to go and vote. And then we get spoon-fed what's being said to us on the telly every day. And that's just life. And that's what they're banking on to control us. Yes, exactly, H said. Everyone's too busy working. That's what they're banking on, to control us. And, of course, all the while they do, you don't get any chance of changing things. The internet is probably their worst enemy right now, because groups of people like we've got right here, right now, talking together tonight will, you know, exchange ideas, inform each other of things that they didn't necessarily know. And, you know, we get to see what's going on. And then you get other people with their head up their arse who literally can't see it or refuse to see it because they're too scared to change. It's a multifaceted thing. But I will support anybody who, you know, has a chance of dealing with things. YouTube sucks. It can do sometimes. American here. Hello, good to see you. Things are feeling strange here after the assassination. I think something is going to change here big time. Wasn't that horrible? Wasn't that awful? You know, that poor bloke, Charlie Kirk. And, you know, this is an example of what we're all talking about. And all I've seen today is the establishment label people as far right. You know, Charlie Kirk came out with stuff that not everybody in every facet of the political spectrum agreed with. But what Charlie Kirk did, he encouraged debate, and he actually wanted to talk to people that disagreed with him. But because of his views, he was labelled far right. And of course, when you perpetuate that myth, eventually someone will act on it, and we know what happened. That ain't great because people die. You look what happened to Trump during the election campaign. Somebody tried to shoot him, and I'm sure the same thing will happen over here to somebody at some point. And it's all because of this media narrative that's being pushed by everybody. It's bad. Sorry, Blood, I missed that one. Donald Duck, Andy, so now what after this protest? What is the next step? I don't see the migrants stop coming inside the UK and don't see change of judges, politicians stand about it. The biggest thing with these protests or rallies, whatever you want to refer them as, they unite people under a common cause. Everybody there was going to come for the day, was going to come because they're all thinking the same thing, and we're going to come because they've got a deep-rooted wish to change things. So it was a free speech rally. I think, it's more than free speech. We all know that. But the problem is, it's like the Starmer's comment I read out earlier. They don't take any notice. They don't give a shit. What we have to do with these rallies and what we have to do with information that's partaken, like on streams like mine, is to keep informing people. Keep informing people, because at the end of the day, that's the only way we'll change it. Like I said about the fact, you can't just chuck your weight behind a political party and say, oh, yeah, they're going to fix everything. Yeah, no problem. Doesn't work like that. But you need the platform to fix it. You need platforms to fix it. You need the right people in the right places at the right time to fix it. Otherwise, we're going to lose the place. I refer back to the British Nationality Act again, and I had a video on it. It's gone viral, actually, or going viral, where I pick out a specific piece just to illustrate what's going on. All of these acts, all of these things they throw in is all designed to pick apart and rip our country to pieces and rebuild it in their own image. And unfortunately, because people are asleep at the wheel, so to speak, we're letting them. And it is a shame. A handful of people in brief trouble was so far away from screens and PA systems. There were just so many people. If that's all they can spin to justify predetermined headlines, is poor form. Somebody did a really good comparison. They had the rally yesterday, and they had the Notting Hill Carnival, I think it was. And it was a comparison of the arrests and the violence and everything else. There was a hell of a difference. A hell of a difference. I want to show you something. Changing the subject completely. I'm kind of going here, there, and everywhere. Let's just upload this thing. There's a video that's coming out tomorrow. And I'm actually quite proud of myself for this one. And I want to share the news in the hope it will help somebody somewhere. If I can just find, I might have to download it off of Canva before I do anything. Let me just have a look. Canva. There we go. Download. That's downloading, I think. Yeah, that's come down. So now I should be able to upload it. Here we go. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you why this is, but I'm just going to give you a little teaser. You obviously know who this guy is. This is two pictures. The picture on the left was taken 2 days ago. And the picture on the right was taken 1 year and 2 days ago. I'm hoping everybody can see the difference. Now, there's a reason there's a difference. And what I'm going to do is release a video tomorrow and tell you about it. But I was quite startled as to the way I look now compared to the way I looked then. And there's been a bit of hard work going on in the background. And one jokey thing: which pair of glasses do you prefer, the one on the right or the one on the left? I missed my old glasses on the right because they don't keep falling down my nose like these ones. But there you go. That will come out tomorrow, and I will reveal all then. Raylene Bollin, with the winter nights drawing in fast and furious, I wonder if Labour are going to stick to their promise about the warm home discount scheme. I don't believe any word that comes out of their slimy mouths, to be honest. I really don't. So we'll have to see at the time. I mean, this is where communities come into play, isn't it? We've got, everybody knows somebody. Everybody knows someone that's vulnerable. You just got to keep an eye on those that are, and if they need help, make sure they're okay. Is Elon going back to advanced? Andy? I haven't got a clue. I'm not that much in the know. I only get told things every now and again. Pokey Dude, we keep saying we're British, but let's be real. It's just England cosplaying as an entire island. What people have to understand, there is a difference. And all of these terms get interchanged. The United Kingdom is I suppose you could call it a unitary state. It's effectively a political union made up of all the bits and pieces. Britain, the British Isles, is the lump of land we're all on. And on that lump of land we're all on, you've got Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, England. And it's very important to, I almost feel like they deliberately try and mix it all up and, confuse people. So again, a method of control. You've really got to understand what is going on in front of you. And when you do understand, things will change. They will. Just right, we need politicians that will look internal and do the best for their people, not ones that look external to try and be important to the likes of the West globalists. Yeah, the job description of an MP has changed. Don't know if anybody knows that. Somebody sent it to me a while ago. That's a scary thing. There's information about hospitals being instructed to prepare for things next year. That's a scary thing. Yvette Cooper being the foreign secretary, that's a very scary thing. Mind you, anything's better than David Lammy, I suppose. There's a series of very scary things which could be building up to something, might not be, but it's telling, isn't it? No wonder they're trying to force us to pay for the BBC, Jillykins. Absolutely. I cancelled my TV license. I'll freely admit that on here. The reason is we don't really watch it anyway. Well, we don't. And if you look what you're actually financing and what you're paying for, it's all wrong. But what I suspect they probably will do, because you've got this talk about the council tax and, messing around and reforming the council tax, I do wonder whether they're going to try and amalgamate it into some kind of payment in there. It wouldn't surprise me. Pokey Dude, England struts about like it runs the show, but half the time it's tripping over its own rules. The country's become less a kingdom, more a comedy sketch nobody asked for. The problem is we don't run the show. We haven't run the show for a long time. If you mention anything about England, or if you just so much as political types seem to raise their eyebrow and be like, oh, you can't mention the E word. But if you mention the other nations within the union, oh, yeah, very enthusiastic. And that alone tells you something, that there is some kind of overriding plan for everything. I mean, this is another picture. If I can upload it. If I can find the damn thing and not have the same trouble I just did with this one. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. Got it. That was easier. And that's what's happening to England. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 administrative regions. So if you have a look at that, there's not all of the counties and shires as we know them. It's all administrative regions. Now, this is an EU construct, European Union construct. And you talk about the devolution in Wales, you talk about a devolution in Scotland and what's happened to the police forces and everything in those areas. Effectively, you could as well say they've been regionalised already. And if this happens, then you will end up with a separate jurisdiction, a separate pattern, and a separate system of law overlaying the whole thing. And then we lose it all. That's how much trouble we're in. That's what the EU means to us. That's what the globalists want to do with the place. Now, the most powerful thing within our arsenal is the Constitution, the English Constitution, the English common law. That's how Graham Moore was able to arrange that court hearing. The election petition in Chester in November. And that's vitally important as well. I haven't told my wife yet, but I'm going to try and get there. So I think that's important. And, we have to educate ourselves. We have to use all these things to try and save our country before it's too late. It's never too late. That's what people have to realise. They've got away with it for years. Now the British have woken the fuck up. Advance UK 2025 says, well, I'm not British, I'm English, but I live in Britain. That colloquial everybody has woken the fuck up. I do believe we are. The English are certainly rising as everybody else is. The protests make plenty of noise, but the government treats them like background music, loud, constant, and easy to ignore. Pokey dude, that's exactly what's happening. What they tend to do is add a label to these protests, don't they? They call them something just to sweep them under the carpet and get them out of the way. What you have to realise is every 4 or 5 years we turn up at the polling booth and we vote for these people, and then they spend the next amount of time not representing us. See the problem? And then they say Parliament is sovereign. The Constitution is sovereign, and that was actually ruled years ago. Parliament's not sovereign. The Constitution and therefore the people are sovereign. Good evening from beautiful North Carolina, USA. Love the Patriots across the phone. Thank you, Spark Swain. Appreciate that very much. We have a lot more in common with America than people are led to believe. Again, look into it. So somebody said to me that we should use the American Constitution to solve our problems. Where do you think the Americans got their Constitution in the first place, or the foundations of it? The English. From the first colonies in Jamestown and everything after that, English settlers, English Constitution. How do you think the wars started across the states? The American Civil War. It was all over rights, and it really is a complicated thing. Trump will visit the UK and King Charles between the 17th to 19th for an unprecedented second state visit. Yeah, you're right, blood. That is in 15th. That's in 3 days' time, and I'm keeping an eye on that. I wonder if something's going to get said. I really do. Advance UK 2025, honest question, Andy. I support Ben 100%, but does he think he can win, or is Advance UK just there to pressure the others, especially Reform? Some of what Ben says sounds like message to others. Well, one of the things that Ben has said, and that is that he wants to be removed from, as he terms it, the battlefield by reform. In other words, he wants reform to do what they said they're going to do. And it's quite obvious they're not. So Advance will do it. That's why there is this party. That's why it is. I love that comment, Drummer. Campaign for an English Parliament. That, you know, that's the thing. Scotland's got a Parliament. Wales has got a Parliament. Northern Ireland, we don't. So, you know, that's a very valid point. But back to Ben. He's made Advance because it's obvious that, you know, we're not going to get what we're after with reform. Now, the problem is too many people in this country still believe the myth that if you vote for somebody else, you'll split the vote. So then people will not vote for other parties like Advance or Reform or anything like that. We need as many people as we can out there. We need as many people as we can voting. We need as many people as we can engaging. And we need as many people as we can to help fix it. Get behind a party. I mean, you look at Reform, right? Everybody's backing Reform. If you slag off Reform in any way, shape, or form, you'll get demonized. You'll get, well, eviscerated effectively, because people are so behind this idea of change. But if you look at the people that are coming into Reform, I'm seeing something else. It's not what it started out to be. Jason Jenkins, serious question. How is any UK political party going to stop a digital ID, CDBC, social credit score? The answer is they won't. If you look at the WEF and all the people that are involved in the WEF, there is one particular country in the world which has kind of got these things you mentioned off to a T, and that is China. So they've got that blueprint in place. And all of the other representatives of all the other countries with the WEF are looking to China, looking to that blueprint and looking to replicate it everywhere else. It's called stakeholder capitalism. There's some very good videos on it. And basically that's where they're going. Now, the problem is the United Kingdom and everything else is what's targeted. That union, that United Kingdom union is what's targeted. So by people talking about that, they're inadvertently aiding and abetting the people that want to destroy us. We need a fundamental restructuring. We need a fundamental shift. We need a fundamental taking away of the way things have run for the last 40 or 50 years. And there's probably 20 separate acts straight away, including the one I always keep harping on about, that need voiding, abolishing. We need to remove our country from the grip of that globalism. And when I say our country, I mean England, I mean Scotland, I mean Wales, and I mean Northern Ireland. That is what is at the core of this whole thing. And until people in positions of power start realising that, we can change governments, we can make things happen, but all the while you've got that claw of globalism hanging on. Is it really going to get changed? Proof's in the pudding, time will tell. It's a sad state of affairs when you've got the likes of Elon Musk that's more concerned about our country than our own king and prime minister is. Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, I'll find it on my phone. It's the reaction of our government and it's the reaction of our ministers when this kind of thing happens. And I will just find it. I want to read you something. And all of them are doing this, what I'm about to read you. I said I wouldn't talk about politics, but we've kind of ended up drifting into it. I suppose that's my fault with the way the channel goes. Rob, we're doomed. That sounds like that. Is that Fraser out of Dad's Army? That's the kind of thing there, isn't it? Ed Davey. There we go. Yes, I've written to Keir Starmer, Kemi Badenoch, and Nigel Farage, urging them to join me in condemning Elon Musk's dangerous remarks inciting violence yesterday. As leaders, we must stand together and make clear Musk will face serious consequences for these actions. And there's his letter that he's written about this. He's got a bee in his bonnet, you see, about what Musk said. Well, I find the comments inciting violence libelous, actually. Because Elon Musk didn't incite violence. Elon Musk said it's down to the people to take their country back. It's down to the people to do the right thing by their country. I didn't hear anything about violence. You know, everything has to be done peacefully. I refer back to the Graham Moore situation with the voting integrity as well. It all has to be done peacefully because the alternative doesn't bear thinking about. That's what these people are worried about when they talk about this. Pokey Dude, Advanced UK might sell itself as the answer, but if the rest are riddles without solutions, that's hardly saying much. I mean, one of the things I don't have at the moment is policy. I've asked it a few times, but what they have is the idea. They have the wherewithal and they have the support. I think that there's more to do. They have to realise more things, and they have to be talking to people that so far they won't talk to. Whether that happens or not, I do not know. We'll have to see. Anyway, folks, the last couple of days on the channel have been absolutely brilliant. A couple of my videos have they've blown up, literally. I can't believe it. So we're getting some really great stuff. Keith Sires, would you get into government? I'll tell you a quick story about that. When, talking about Nigel Farage again, when he came down here, when he was head of UKIP and tried to get in the South Thanet constituency seat, as it was at the time, I took a very active interest in politics, which is probably why I always talk about it now. And I quickly realised that what you have is a cesspit, because they try and dig up information about you and try and intimidate you into shutting up and all the rest of it. And I thought, you know what, piss off. And where I've ended up where I am now, I'm far more useful to the cause, trying to raise awareness of things that can help fix the country. I prefer to be out here talking. Yes, I have joined political entities. Yes, I do support political entities. So I suppose from that point of view, I'm not entirely non-biased, but really I do it to try and point out and try and raise awareness of what I think needs to be done to fix things, if you understand. But yeah, that's probably a good point to leave it, everybody. What I've as I said, the last couple of days with the channel, thanks, Craig, have been wonderful. I can't believe how much the videos have exploded and gone everywhere. It's absolutely brilliant, and I really appreciate it. 152,000 subscribers. I think we're nearly 153,000 now. It's absolutely motored along. So really appreciated. I've done a thing this evening. I don't know whether it works or not, but these live streams have a redirect on them. And I know Paul Thorpe is going live at 10 o'clock. So what I've done when I end this live stream, if it works right, it should automatically shunt you all over to Paul Thorpe's. So if you want to go and watch something else, go and watch it. Obviously, if you don't, switch him off. I just wanted to try it tonight and see if I can redirect you know, to another stream that maybe you might want to see. So thank you from me. Appreciate it very much. It's just general spitballing this evening, as you've seen. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and until tomorrow, I will look forward to talking to you soon. Toodaloo.